the problems that are experienced by the eye or to the eye, remember, last time we were able to name the 3 layers of the eye. Because of time that elapsed in between from our last revision, I think we can remind ourselves once again on what we talked about on the 3 layers of the eye. Somebody just to remind us, what did we say are the 3 layers of the eye?
We have outer, middle, and the inner.
We have the outer, the middle, and the inner. The outer, the middle, and the inner. So remember, the outer part of the eye, we say they are, that is an umbrella name which accommodates some other parts like the sclera, the cornea, the conjunctiva. Again, we talked about the middle part of the eye, where we talked about the pupil, we talked about the iris. We also talked about the ciliary body. And today, even as we carry on, some of the terms that we are meeting here are like the blindness, which we were able to define, the low vision, the visual disorder, visual impairment, visual disability, the visual handicap. And then we were also able to state causes of visual impairment. So maybe I want us to start from that question on the causes of visual impairments. So what are some of the causes of visual impairments, class? What are the causes of visual impairment?
Accidents.
The accidents.
Diseases like cataract.
Yes?
Diseases like cataracts.
Diseases like the cataracts.
Inheritance.
Yes?
Inheritance from the family.
That is from the genetics, the genes, yes?
Pascal.
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I have a question.
Yes.
As we are tackling this question of causes of visual impairment, are we going to classify according to, let's say, prenatal, the postnatal?
We have not classified, but still we can give the general ones, and then we can as well now classify further. So I think we are still giving on the just the general ones, but then we are going to classify because again, you can get a specific question that is asking maybe on the postnatal or the prenatal or on the perinatal. Yes, so someone else on the causes of visual impairment. Okay, so let's classify them. Somebody is saying the drugs. Yes.
How can we put this one? In that you find someone, especially those who are exposed too much on computer, they develop eye problems.
That is the overexposure to the computer screen, eh? But I think
Yeah.
let's classify them and then we see where we are going to put that. So what are the causes of visual impairments during the postnatal? Let's start with the prenatal. Causes of visual impairments during the prenatal stage of growth and development.
Hello.
Yes.
I think during prenatal is when the developing fetus is still in the womb.
Yes.
And one of the cause of the prenatal is when the mother takes some drugs. So you can say it can be caused by drugs. We can also talk about diseases, like for example, when the mother is having some disease which can be transmitted to this developing fetus in the womb. That's my contribution.
Okay. So it's talking about the use of drugs and also some genetical conditions that can be passed from the mother to the child. And just to ask, what are some of the genetical conditions that a mother can pass to the offspring? Yes?
Diseases.
Yes?
Diseases like gonorrhea, syphilis, glaucoma.
Okay. Okay, the question was, which are some of these diseases that can be inherited from the mother to the child?
Hello, Pascal.
Yes.
I think we can talk about albinism. Can be one of the conditions that can be inherited from which can be genetic.
Yes, the albinism. I can see in the chat box the HIV and AIDS. All right, so what are other conditions during the perinatal that can cause visual impairments during perinatal, during the birth process?
Can we say accidents?
Like which one?
Let me rethink.
We can talk about the prolonged birth during perinatal, for example, prolonged labor when the mother is giving birth. That one can be a condition during perinatal. We can also talk about something to do with the use of those forceps maybe which are not sterilized, they can, if they happen to get in contact with the eyes, they can bring some impairment to the eyes. And maybe the accident that are caused by those forceps or the tools that are being used during the process of birth can also make the offspring to get impaired, especially when it gets in contact with the eyes.
Thank you very much. That is the accidents or the use of especially unsterilized forceps during the birth process. And also remember, if the baby falls during that time, it can also lead to such a condition like visual impairment. What about postnatal conditions that are likely to cause visual impairments in the postnatal stage of growth and development?
We still have accidents as one of them.
The accidents?
We can talk about chemicals when they get in contact with the eyes.
Yes, chemicals. Yes. Chemicals, accidents, any other cause of the visual impairments, the postnatal?
Infections.
Eye infections.
The eye infections.
Some drugs.
So which drugs?
Like if somebody takes a drug like methane,
Like?
it can make this person to become blind.
Oh, methane, eh?
Yes, methane is very dangerous.
Drugs. All right, so let's carry on. Let's carry on. So on the causes of visual impairments, we are having conditions that causes visual impairments like the cataracts. We have the trachoma, and there are a lot about these conditions. Maybe just to find out, what is a cataract? What is cataract? Somebody on the cataract, what are cataracts?
Pascal,
Yes.
may I try?
Uh-huh.
I think ni ile kitu ambao huwa iko kwa jicho la mtu, unaonekana ni kama uko na ring around the pupil, inakaa kama whitish hivi. Na inafaa kutolewa. Sijui the treatment, sometimes wanapeana maybe medication. I don't know kama huwa inatolewa, but
Hey, you did not finish that statement. Ukapotea.
nasema
Yes.
inakuwa kama ring kwa
Yes.
around the pupil na inakaa kama iko milky, inakaa kama whitish hivi, na huwa inatibiwa kwa kupewa some, sijui ni antibiotics, lakini kuna medication ambao huwa anapewa.
So that is the eye becomes cloudy or it becomes whitish in color. So in other words, now, does the cataract affect one's ability to see?
If not treated at the right time, it can affect. Because utaanza kuona kama blurred vision hivi, unakosa kuona kitu kwa ubali like that. Alafu baadaye itakuwa imepotea kabisa, you've not treated at the right time.
Yes. So when the cataract is not treated, it is very true that when it is not treated, it will develop. Remember, it is a medical condition where now the lens of the eye progressively becomes opaque. So, or with the blurred vision. In other words, when somebody is standing and you're trying to look at something that is at a distance that is considered that a normal person is supposed to see, then what you are going to see will be a blurred image, an image which is not very clear. An image which is not very clear, and therefore, remember, whenever a person begins to have whenever a person begins to have the inability to see clear images, then it means that the eye is already and slowly getting affected. And remember, this development of the infection, it keeps growing until when somebody is no longer able to see anymore. So that is cataract. Then another cause of visual impairment, we talk about the trachoma. Trachoma. So what is trachoma? What do we say about trachoma? Now, remember that trachoma is number one, it is caused by bacterial infection to the eye. And in most cases, you will get that that children, somebody has talked about the redness of the eye. Now, children, they are very, very common in playing with the soil. And that same hand that has touched the soil will go back to the mouth, to the nose, to the eye. So there is a likelihood, a high likelihood of such of the eye getting the bacterial infection that will affect it, leading to trachoma. And remember, according to the research, trachoma becomes the leading cause of blindness worldwide. However, it is preventable, but it is also very contagious. And so it requires the medical treatment for it to be done away with. And a person who, remember I've said it is contagious, and it can be passed, or it can be spread from one person to another, especially children, by touching contaminated surfaces. This child who has the trachoma is likely to pass it to the other children by touch, and even by the use of saliva, the kissing, or the shared items like the cups. It can also be passed by skin-to-skin contact, or handshakes, or hugs. And when you come into contact with a person who has trachoma, and you also end up just touching your eye after the contact, then you are also likely to be in a position of contracting it. However, trachoma is treatable. Then we also have another one called glaucoma. So what is glaucoma? Someone maybe can tell us about glaucoma? So remember that glaucoma is caused by the high eye pressure. The high eye pressure. Let me write in the chat box. Let me write in the chat box. Glaucoma is caused by the high eye pressure. So can the eye have high pressure? Yes. And so how does it affect the eye and causes glaucoma? Remember, glaucoma, it is a group of eye conditions. It is a group of eye conditions, and it is likely to cause blindness. So remember that the glaucoma, when the nerve that is connecting the eye to the brain is damaged, then as a result of high eye pressure, then we will say that now a person will develop a condition known as glaucoma. But now for it to be a condition or to be developed, then a person's nerve that is connecting the eye to the brain must have been damaged as a result of eye pressure. And so what will happen when this happens? It will lead to glaucoma. And again, we are saying that for you to see something, recognize it and take action. Remember, the signal that is seen by the eye, that signal must be sent to the brain for interpretation, for processing of the information, and then the brain will give a command for an action to be taken by whichever part of the body that is supposed to be involved. Now, for example, you have seen a snake, you are just almost stepping on it. The eye should have seen it. Now, once the eye have seen it, that information, that seeing, remember up here, we said up here that seeing is the reception of mobile and static patterns of light, shade, and hue by the eye, and their transmission to the brain, where the light impulses are interpreted to give meaning to what is seen. So you have seen a snake and you are just almost stepping on it. And once you have seen it, remember that information is immediately taken to the brain for processing, for an action to be taken, maybe for the brain to action the legs. So now where the legs, either the leg will refuse to step on it because the action has been initiated, or you will jump, or if somebody is in a great sense of danger, atapiga nduru, or any other action, but the information must reach the nervous system to be processed for the action to be taken. So when somebody is having glaucoma, it means, yes, you have seen, but zero signal is sent to the brain. Therefore, no action is going to be taken. And these people who are having glaucoma, some of them may be seeing, but because of the nerve that connects the eye to the brain, because that nerve is destroyed as a result of the high eye pressure, you will find that that nerve is ruptured, and therefore no signal will be getting to the brain. It is the same as when you are in a room or you are in somewhere, you are able to see somebody, but you can't tell who the person is. You are seeing that there is somebody, but you cannot tell who the person is. This may be as a result of the deficit in the ability of the eye the ability of the eye to see and to process the information or to send the signal to the brain, under which the information is supposed to be processed, and then the action plan is supposed to be executed to remove or to eliminate somebody from danger or to do away with the danger. Then we also have vitamin A deficiency. Now, what is this vitamin A deficiency? Somebody can tell us something about vitamin A deficiency. What is vitamin A deficiency? Or what makes vitamin A? Let me start from there. What makes vitamin A?
Pascal?
Yes.
I think there are some foods that make up vitamin A, like carrots.
Yes.
So if somebody is lacking such a vitamin in his body, you know, vitamin A are going to make a person. They normally encourage vision. So when somebody is lacking this vitamin in the body, then you can say that the person is having a deficiency of such a vitamin in his body. And in that case, he's going to, maybe he's not going to see very well.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So lack of vitamin A is also going to cause, is likely to cause the visual impairment. And this is why from the medical field, even those who are having eye problems are advised to eat more of vitamin A. Then we also have this called xerophthalmia. Xerophthalmia is a condition. It is also an eye condition that comes as a result of the dryness of the conjunctiva and cornea of the eye with the inflammation, or when we talk of inflammation, that is with the swelling, and it is also typically associated with vitamin A. So when we talk about the xerophthalmia, you will get a person who is fat. The areas around the eye is fatter than the rest of the body. And you may be wondering, or when you look at them, because you may not see the deficit with your naked eyes, you may be tempted to say that they are living well, as they are now nonaring, wananona hapo kwa macho. But while this person or these people may be suffering, so this xerophthalmia, it is abnormal dryness of the conjunctiva. Now remember, we said a normal human being should be having ability to shed tears, even if they are men, they should have the ability to shed tears. And in our last lesson, we were able to cite that there is a part of the eye that allows the tear to be shed. Now, which part did we mention there? Which part of the eye allows the tears to roll? Yes?
Ciliary.
The ciliary what?
Bodies.
The ciliary bodies. And remember we said the eye, for the eye to remain alive and for it to function normally, the water is what lubricates it, making it to, remember, making the other parts of the eye to remain flexible and even to keep moving. And when a foreign material gets into the eye, as an organ of the body, has the ability to take care of itself. So number one, when the eye spots something coming, it will automatically close. It will close. And when a foreign object gets in, the only way that the eye can allow it to get out is by the ciliary bodies excreting the tear, so that that tear can be able to wash that foreign material or that foreign object. And that is why it is so nice sometimes when people cry, because they are also getting the ability of their eyes getting washed or getting clean. We also talk about the optic atrophy. The optic atrophy. I don't know. Somebody can tell us about the optic atrophy. Optic atrophy. So optic atrophy refers to the death of the retina, the death of the retinal cells. So when the retinal cells die, then we'll say that you are now having a condition known as the optic atrophy. And remember that retinal cells comprises also of the optic nerve. That we say that when that nerve bursts, or when it ruptures as a result of the eye pressure, high eye pressure, it causes glaucoma. But at the same time, it will now cause another condition that is known as optic atrophy. Now remember, one person can have multiple visual impairments or multiple eye problems or multiple eye conditions. And so when even they go to the hospitals for treatment, it becomes very difficult to treat. And not only the eye, look at the heart. Let me give you an example of the heart so that we can justify this. Now, when there is a clot in the blood system, the heart as a pumping organ of the body will always make sure that the blood is pumped past the foreign or past the obstacle, past the clot. And as a result of that, the heart will eventually devise a mechanism under which it's going to pump blood under high pressure. And that automatically will lead to a person having what we call high blood pressure. And once you have high blood pressure, you are likely also to succumb to other conditions of the heart, like high sugar level or the low sugar level. The sugar level that it increases, it just rises, or it just drops. It will lead to a person having conditions like diabetes. So you realize that one person has multiple conditions of the heart equally to the eye. And then we also talk about the so-called retinal diseases. Retinal diseases. Now, when we talk about retinal diseases, these are diseases that only interferes with the retina. And some of these diseases that we can talk about, I don't know whether we know which part of the eye is known as the retina. But remember the retina. Let me see if we can have one here. This one's here. Let me see. There is no retina on this. What about this? Even this one is not having, but let me look at one so that what we are talking about, we are able to see. it retina. Retina. I'm trying to get it. Yeah, so I think we can look at one here. Let me remove this, and but then I want to share the other one. Now, are we able to see the screen?
Yes.
And are we able to see my cursor? Are you able to see my cursor?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Now, so this is the one that I want us to look at. Let me try to enlarge it if it is possible. Oh my, it seems it will not. Okay. Yes. This is the one that I want us to look at. Now, I want you to look at the retina as part of the eye. Retina as part of the eye. And remember that we are saying that the retina is this part. It is a laminated tissue, and this part has three different functions. Rather, it has three different functional layers. One of these layers, the outermost layer is called the photoreceptor layer, and it is made up of rods and cones. So these cells transform the light energy into electric signals that are processed and then sent to the brain where vision is completed. Topographically, the center of the retina is also known as the macula, and it is here that the central vision and the detailed vision occur. So when there is a rupture, in the retina, we will say that the vision is going to be interfered with. But remember, we are talking about retinal diseases. Retinal diseases like retinal tear. We talk about retinal tear. When the eye is, when something beats the eye, like when you're playing football and somebody had made a shot and it directly gets to hit you on the eye, it may cause what we call retinal tear. And remember that retinal tear may also lead to another condition which is known as retinal detachment, where the retina is detached from the immediate part of the eye that it should be attached to. So there is going to be an existing space, and when that space is existing, it means the pain in that, it means there is a cut, and that cut is going to bring pain. And in most time, when the eye is itching, you will be tempted to put your fingers in there, causing more infection. We'll talk about the cases to do with the macular degeneration. We'll talk about conditions like retinitis pigmentosa, and also even the diabetic retinopathy are some of the conditions that are likely to interfere or to affect the retina. And so when the retina is affected, it means there is no signal that will be sent there is no signal that is going to be sent to the what? To the brain for processing and for the vision, where now the vision is perceived. Remember, we see it with the eye, but the processing of what we see to make meaning, it has to be subjected to go to the brain. And when that cannot happen, then yes, we will be seeing, but in every time we'll be complaining that we are not able to see as a result of these conditions that affects our ability to see well. So this is the retina. And remember that the retina has also the blood cells that supplies it with blood. And as a result of the rupture, these blood cells are so tiny, and anything that hits them means they are also going to get ruptured. And when they are ruptured, the eye is going to suffer the deficit of enough blood supply and even oxygen. And as a result, the part that is not supplied with the blood and the oxygen, there is going to be a change in the stature, that is in the physical appearance of that part. And so back to what we were looking at on the yellow vision. So the other cause of visual impairment, we talk about the other conditions that cause visual impairments. We'll talk about cases to do with albinism. So what is albinism? Somebody can tell us about albinism? Okay, so when we talk about albinism,
Pascal,
Edwin,
can I say albinism is being heterozygous or like?
Edwin, you have muted yourself.
Okay, being heterozygous, light, and yes, having being heterozygous light, having a light skin, a light skin. Then Pascal, before I take back the mic to you, leo tumerudi class. It has been a challenge this other side, and we were around 31 people. Right now we are 29. It hasn't been easy. And to the other colleagues, those who are in class, imekuwa challenge sana kurudi kutumia hii Zoom. Lakini tunashukuru Mungu, the Lord has been on our side. So what I'm just trying to talk about, no pain, no gain. Najua we are in tough economic times, tough financial times, but tujaribu. Ni sisi tuliamua tukasema hii Zoom tutakuwa tuna nini? Tutakuwa tunailipia 150 shillings per month. But the problem is this, it's being paid in dollars and the dollar keeps on fluctuating. Unapata wakati mwingine tukilipa 150 ni sawa. Saa zingine dola inapanda maybe mpaka 117 shillings. Ikirudi around 112, 110 hapo it is okay. But saa zingine ikipanda maybe mpaka 120, unapata tutakuwa tunalipa. But still, it will have to task us to look for other ways kumaliza hiyo. And that one calls for us to be able to subscribe 100%. Tujaribu. Najua maisha ni ngumu, lakini tujaribu tafadhali. It wasn't easy the last term, the last month. Because hata statement najua Pascal akishare list ni wachache ndio walilipa. Sasa tafadhalini tujaribu tulipe Zoom ili tuweze kuendelea. It is helping us a lot. The same link that you are using right now is the same link that you are using in KSL. You are only supposed to pay 150 shillings in a month. So let's try and do something. Ili Zoom tusiumie. Kusoma mtu mmoja sio rahisi. Pascal.
Yes.
I think that's what I had to say. You may also add something on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Edwin. Members, just as you have heard from what Edwin has said, we have come a long way, and we are counting 5 fresh months, and we will have done with this thing. So this calls upon us. We cannot get tired now. This is what has sustained us, and you can give testimonies through the year 1. And now that we are in year 2, we are speaking on the home stretch so that we can finish the race. So where we have come from is far, but as Edwin has said, in terms of payment, subscriptions, they have been very low. And so we have to look for other means to salvage the situation, which I don't think are very favorable. So let us try as much as possible to maintain this system, because I know when people are going to need it, when the exams are nearing, but at that time it will get us, as those who we are using the system all along, we will be very far away. So just as Edwin has said, let us remember the subscription, the 150 shillings monthly, so that we can have it done to help us. You remember how it was misbehaving, and even the KSL ilikuwa ni ya kushikilia tu, so that it doesn't misbehave equally. As a host, it was not allowing me to attend. So if people were able to attend, then on my side, it was a miracle. So I think we are going to stop there because of time, but our next class that we are going to have on Saturday in the evening will be about brain. And so let us prepare ourselves. We are going to sit for an examination that is going to test about all these areas. If not in the cards, then we are focusing at the final next examination that is coming the month of April. It will be my joy if we get the opportunity, all of us, to exit the system by putting on the gown and graduating. And it will also be so painful if somebody may remain behind. So it is my joy that it is my plea that we all our hands together as we walk the journey. Unless there is a concern, if there is somebody, if there is, but if there is none, then I am going to request a volunteer here. Maybe I request Vinlanda yeye alituombea the other time. Maybe Femina, we have lasted for long without hearing your voice. Would you mind offer the closing prayer? Femina. Femina, if you are hearing us, closing prayer. Okay. Madam Joyce Chepngetich, tufungie kwa maombi. Joyce Chepngetich, closing prayer. Huh. Okay, 07788 tufungie kwa maombi 07788.
Pascal,
Yes.
wacha tuombe.
All right.
Almighty and everlasting Father, we thank you for this far you brought us. You started with us up to this far. Lord, I say thank you. Even the remaining days that we still have to do our final exams, Jehovah Lord, may you be with us. May you help us understand whatever we are studying. Even the cut that we have ahead of us, we call upon you, O Lord, to help us understand and remember the things that we've been taught before. Jehovah, as we want to have a rest, we thank you for being with us since the day started up to this far. Be with us even throughout the night. I pray this short prayer, believing and trusting in the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen, amen,
Amen.
amen. Good night, everyone. Let's meet again on Saturday evening.